If your service is not flexible enough to cater to the experience market, you are missing out. Whether you're focusing on the couple, expanding opportunities internationally, or considering the guest experience, the opportunities are endless. The wedding economy is changing fast, but with the right strategy, you can stay ahead. Today, we are here to discuss the destination wedding market, but something more specific to that, and that is the experience economy. Who has heard this term before, and what does it mean for weddings? Consumers are actually spending more time, effort, and energy on creating and curating experiences than ever before. And now we are seeing that appetite for experience go hand in hand in destination weddings. Local weddings, luxury weddings, cultural weddings, and of course, the whole weekend festivities that play around some of the weddings that we're seeing play out. Experience. What are couples actually looking for? And why are they looking for experience? If they're taking their guests from point A to point B, could be down the road or to the other side of the world, they're not just planning one event. These days, more couples are planning multiple events than singular events around their wedding. Welcome to the Wedded Business Digest. I hope you've missed me as much as I've missed you. I've said it over and over and over again, guys, come on. The destination wedding market is booming, and this is as a direct result of the experience economy. So if you are not focusing on this from a local and a global perspective, you are missing out. We see couples now investing more than ever, and I'm talking to the bride in particular, multiple looks, multiple days, multiple events. Everything is an experience in your business. What do you have on offer that actually talks to this market? Are you part of the pre-wedding events? Are you part of the engagement? Are you part of the wedding day? Are you part of the ceremony, the reception, the recovery brunch? There are so many considerations and talking points, and that is how the experience economy has impacted the wedding industry. Okay, fashion designers, rental companies, stylists, designers, I'm talking to you. You need to pivot your offering. You need to think about how the bride is thinking today and what she's actually going to be creating for herself, her memories, her guests, and of course, her wedding experience. The Wedded Wonderland bride, it's a lifestyle. She is choosing her wedding as a lifestyle. She's making decisions on her skin, her hair prep, her nail prep, all of that way before the wedding plays out. And more often than not, if it's a lifestyle for the bride, the parents and the bridal party are also involved. So we really need to consider our product offering here. So when a bride comes to us and says, I want a wedding dress, are we thinking about one wedding dress? Are we thinking about, okay, well, are you having a pre-wedding party, a post-wedding event? Are you actually thinking about changing up your look? We know brides are doing that. Second looks are in. We have entire fashion brands launching second look edits. So what are you doing about it? From a photography perspective, from a makeup perspective, from a hair perspective, how are you actually servicing your customer? How are you adding value to them? Like, we at Wedded Wonderland care so much about our couples. We are here to service them all day, every day. And we need to make sure that our service providers, when we send them over through our concierge, are actually having that conversation. So it's not just, hi, happy to take your inquiry. This is what it is, and we're done. Maybe they want to do a honeymoon shoot. Maybe they want to be able to bring their family and friends together and have a pre-wedding event and celebration. You don't know until you ask. And a lot of the times, you're the ones that actually need to be planting the seed. You need to be having these conversations, producing products and services that couples today actually want. And we as an industry need to take care of them. Vendors, and I like to call them partners, who actually are open to collaboration and finding people in the industry and service providers and brands that they can work with to offer more to their couple, will win out every single day of the week. Do not send your couple off trying to figure out and pull the missing pieces of the puzzle together. If you offer linen, cutlery, and crockery, then where do the tables and chairs and centerpieces come from? Who do I use as a floral designer? What venue should I be looking at for my bridal shower versus my wedding? You need to be able to have these contacts. This is why we have the network, of course, and our directory, but more importantly, you need to figure out who you actually like working with. The amount of couples that contact us and say, I booked my photographer, but my photographer couldn't really refer a videographer, or they gave me the name of one person who's booked. Now I don't know what to do. What are you doing? What if that couple wants a destination shoot? Who can you refer on the other side of the world? What if that couple wants a content creator? Do you have those services available? They are asking those questions. And if you've been asked more than once, then it's on you to provide the answer. Couples are going east. Are you losing bookings? The big weddings that are playing out, the ones that actually are quite complex and need product and service providers, because if they could do it themselves, then they would. They are the cultural weddings. They are the weddings of the East. They're either traveling to the East to have their weddings or other exotic locations around the world. They're traveling to Europe, Africa, Middle East, Asia, or they're keeping their wedding local. But guess what? They're wanting that experience in their wedding. How do you bring experience into a wedding that has so many rites of passage? You as an industry need to come up with ways that you can actually service this market, because those who are having traditional weddings still want experience. Those who are having cross-cultural weddings still want experience. Those who are having destination weddings still want experience. It's not just mutually exclusive to a destination wedding. The destination wedding calls the experience. It's a lot easier to form experiences around a destination wedding. But what about the couples who are getting married locally? So look to the way that they do it in the East. Look to the trends of what these cultures are actually producing. Look to the amazing weddings in Nigeria and the Philippines. If you were to have a Nigerian couple come to you tomorrow in the US or in Australia or in the UK, what are you doing for them? What's trending in their own country? You need to be culturally aware of what is actually going on. And of course, we talk about this a lot in our network, and we invite you to be a part of it, but also do your research. Couples expect more, and they want that experience within their wedding, and you've got to bring it to the table. We cannot be living in a bubble anymore, guys. Couples have options, and they are jumping on and they're searching these options. They may fall in love with a photographer who's based out of Sydney, who's flying into Europe, and they think that's the photographer that I actually want to shoot my wedding, as opposed to considering a local European photographer. Pros and cons to both. They may be looking for familiarity. I had a bride the other day say, I'm actually having a destination wedding in Greece. Do I book a planner here or do I book one overseas? And I said, which time zone you want to be working in, and how do you want this to play out? Do you need someone with a lot of the local contacts? If so, strongly suggest you get someone on the ground. If you are having a wedding where you're going to a venue where a lot of the service providers actually work within the venue and they have a lot of those contacts and connections, you're probably better off getting a planner here who may need to manage your guest list, the logistics, getting things over, set up. The sooner you know what you need for your wedding, the easier it's going to be to plan it. But that bride who's sitting here who wants to be having that wedding in Greece, how's she going to find you? Yes, jump on Instagram, weddings, Greece, wedding planner, 5 pop up. Okay, who's worked at my venue? Let me do a bit of research. I like their style. I'm going to send them a message in English. Hopefully they respond in English. Do they speak English? What's wonderful about Greece is there are so many international planners that actually work there. But using that as an example, Instagram cannot be your source of truth and your only search point, because if you don't have the right terminology, again, set up in your profiles, you're not going to be found. If you're not featured on the right platforms, you're not going to be found. And if you don't have the right SEO on your site, that local bride may only find local planners who do Greek weddings. If you've been working in the market for 5, 10, 15 years and you don't have that information on your site, you're never going to be found. So there's a mismatch. Obviously, we have our concierge to match you, but at the same time, we actually need couples, even if we send them to you, to be able to find the information they're looking for. Write copy. You have no excuse. Use ChatGPT. Use the tools that are available right now, because the rise of the experience market and the trends that are within weddings, and I don't like using that word, but there are a lot of trends right now, also means that there is the rise of the TikTok wedding planner. And nothing against the TikTok wedding planner, but for these very complex weddings with multiple days and multiple events and multiple scenarios in unknown locations, you have to have the experience on the ground, and you have to show people that you have that, and you have to talk about it all day, every day. Otherwise, they're not going to know, and the ones who are being allowed on TikTok are going to get the work and you're not. And it's as simple as that. My thought process around the guest experience is a whole other level, because I feel like as an industry, we think we're just servicing the couple. And of course, they are our main stakeholder. And of course, we need to make sure first and foremost they are happy. But when you're planning a wedding, I think it's so important to understand that every single person in the room is actually a stakeholder. And so as a wedding planner, as a photographer, as a designer, as a hairdresser or a makeup artist, somebody who works in beauty, someone who works in wellness, what are you doing for the guests? These people who come from certain cultures, and I can speak firsthand, they attend a lot of weddings, right? Who's actually speaking to the wedding guest? The only time I've heard about the wedding guest is when I see a fashion edit, and it's very specific to a female more often than not, and what they're wearing to the wedding. Nothing about beauty, nothing about lifestyle, nothing about wellness, nothing about experience. And we need to step up our game. We are servicing the entire market, therefore service the entire market. How much do you think a guest is spending when they are attending a wedding? Locally, with a gift, around $500. Let's think about the outfit, hair, makeup, etc., etc. Internationally, $2,500 minimum. We're talking about flights, accommodation. And so we need to really think about, from an economic perspective, if we want to service 100 of these guys, we want to be able to assist them, there is a serious amount of economics involved. And you, as a photographer, as a planner, as a venue, I'm speaking to venues specifically here, please consider what that actually looks like. I can't believe that we still have venues out there hosting destination weddings and not having an offering for the guests. I don't understand why hotels, even local hotels, have weddings in their amazing ballrooms without having a full service offering to the restaurants and the spas and everything else. Even if you're a private venue in the middle of nowhere, how do people get to you from the airport? How do they actually find a local restaurant? How do they know where the local beach is? What is the opportunity here in terms of experience? Can they go on a safari? Who do you need to be connected with in order to build out what that proposition is to your venue? So when a couple looks at you, whether you're remote or in the heart of Sydney, you're thinking to yourself, well, that's a venue I want to work with because they've got all the contacts and connections, and really I don't need to worry about my guests, and my guests have an amazing opportunity for experience as well. New York, London, Paris, Rome. Of course, the cities have a lot to offer, but it's up to the venue, the planner, the service provider to curate that. When we're talking about remote destinations and rural destinations, it really does come down to what that offering is and what that experience looks like. And you've got to sell it. You've got to have the content. You've got to have the numbers. You've got to have the opportunities, because then people will go, it looks amazing, but it's 3 hours out from the airport. How will my guests get there? Forget about it. No, not forget about it. Find yourself a DMC and work it out. This is what we need to do as an industry. We need to be problem solvers, and we need to be able to take away some of those layers of complexities in these weddings, because they are complex. Planning a wedding is an experience itself, and we want it to be a memorable one. As I said, when it comes to guests, whether they're attending, I'm talking to the wedding market, of course, but we have so many other anniversaries and birthdays and experiences that are happening all over the world. How can you offer something to the guests that actually creates an experience for them? It may just be a private shopping experience at the local shopping center, and you've actually made the effort to make that connection. Photographer who follows the guests around a couple of days afterwards, a content creator, yes, that has actually an opportunity available. And I really think that we as an industry need to think of it as, what else can I do to add to the experience, as opposed to what else can I be selling here, right? Because the thing is, couples don't want you going to their guests and selling to them. But if you can make life easier and you have a value proposition that is amazing and exciting and is going to make their life more comfortable, make sure the wedding experience is amazing and the guests are taken care of course, people are going to be like, well, hey, That's amazing. I'm in. Let's just talk a little bit about the fact that we are working in different markets, in different time zones, at different price points, with different currency rates, with different requests from our couples, with guests potentially coming in from all over the world. Even if you're planning a local wedding, you may be managing international guests. There are so many things to consider. You have to have strategic connections. You have to have a very strong network that you can lean on. You may even need to have contacts within the tourism board. You may even need to have contacts with other venues and other service providers. And you may be a planner who works with another planner on the ground. This is very common in destination weddings, and many couples don't even realize that. If you are looking to build international partnerships and you don't know how to go about it, this is what we're here for. You can connect with us to have a conversation around our network, our concierge, our directory, the tourism boards we work with, all of the amazing businesses and service providers that work in the luxury cultural destination market globally. You need to be active and present in this market in order to drive business and referrals to yourself. I cannot stress this enough. That's what we're here for, here to make the magic happen. So get in touch. Thanks for tuning in for this week's Wedded Business Digest, the experience economy, how it is impacting the wedding industry. We know it's already here, and I can't wait to see what you do with this information.